Hey YouTube, Double J here. Before I start, yes, I'm in a different area. No, I have not moved. um, I'm currently in the basement where I pack up all my stuff. And I realized that for some reason these videos, when I record it just with me and not with my screen record or screen capture, it tends to take like let's see, the last one earlier this week was I think like 3 hours. 4 hours, probably five. I don't know. It was more because I literally left it up all night and I just woke up and it was done. Uploading it took forever. So please forgive me if this video does not come up right away. I just realized how late it was and that I'd have to record it earlier so I can get it up as soon as possible. I'll also have a bit of editing in this one, as you might see. So yeah, I want to start this off by also saying, yes, I have notes because the thing I'm doing today for RWBY is impossible for me to remember on my own. So, long story short, today's a fan theory. And I do these a lot. RWBY is very good with fan theories because they have a world full of mystery. I mentioned this earlier in the previous video, where everything they have in this world is just unknown. And it leaves it up to the viewer to make all these different theories or assumptions about the future. And I have one that I really want to share because I wanted to share it for a while, and I hope they haven't announced it yet because they better not. Oh, I have watched all the episodes, so I doubt they've announced it. Like the last one with Ozpin. Anyways, so yeah, and this is like bullet notes, so I'm gonna try and describe it the best I can. But this is my fan theory. I'm gonna start off by saying, do you believe in destiny? That's the key point of this. So the theory here is that maybe Phyras Aura is now part of RWBY. What if Ruby Rose now possesses a part of Phyra as if she's a fall maiden? Now, I know what you're saying. Well, it doesn't work because Cinder has the power. I don't know. To be honest, it could be either way. But this is my theory. So a long time ago, it was said that a wizard gave a unique magical power to four young ladies. He did it as a way to thank them for their kindness. The wizard is, of course, Professor Ozpin. The power transferred... My bad. The power is transferred to the last person in the thoughts of the maiden when she dies. So the powers will never completely fade. No matter what, there will be one maiden for each season. So it's almost like they're destined to become... It's almost like they're destined to become the next maiden. Anyways, so in the story, Amber falls and she's... Please excuse my horrible reading because I wrote all this down really fast. Anyways, Amber falls after being attacked by Cinder and her group. And for the first time ever, a part of that power was stolen. And it's never been partially taken. After Crow rescues her, she's placed in a stasis pod while they search for the new successor, or the new maiden. Oz informs Pyrrha later on that the intention to make her the next Fall Maiden. She's taken down to the vault and informed about the aura transfer process and how she might lose who she is if she chooses to accept the power. This is due to the aura of the previous Fall Maiden, Amber, literally being shoved into Pierrot, my bad. I'm a bit nervous, guys. Can you tell? I made so many fan theories, and it's been forever since I've actually done one. And saying is even harder. Anyways, so Pyrrha and Jean, they were training this whole time. They were supporting each other by being good teammates. And by the way, they're a beautiful ship. I ship them together all the way. But anyways, even though Peter's dead, sort of. Anyways, so Pierrot was the only one who actually believed in Jean, except for RWBY. Because RWBY believed in him quite a bit too. Yes, he's still an underdog, and yes, she laughed at his mistakes and weirdness. But she didn't think he was useless. She still knew that he could be a good leader. Anyways, they grew close after supporting each other for so long, and soon after being informed of the maidens, Phyra and Jean have a discussion. They talk about the discussion that Phyra had with Ozpin. However, Phyra doesn't tell Jean the specifics of it. She quotes, "Do you believe in destiny?" Now that's why I said that at the beginning. It's very important to remember that part. Later on, the school is attacked by Grimm and the White Fang, as well as Cinder, of course. But anyways, during the attack, a lot of the other students are holding back the enemies, and Oz, Phyra, and Jean enter the vault. Jean has never been to the vault at this point, and Phyra tells him that she's been there before. Phyra enters the pod after Ozpin reluctantly activates. And the process begins. Phyra screams in pain. Now listen to this. She screams in pain, and the glow reveals the aura being transferred. Now the glow is very important to this, so remember that. Phyra and the others are, of course, interrupted by Cinder, who kills Amber completely before the process is complete, and absorbs the power that's left. This, of course, ends with failure, and Ozpin fights Cinder while the other two escape. After the heart-wrenching moment of Phyra and Jean's kiss, and then Phyra literally shoving him into a locker and sending him away. By the way, I do not ship them if that's going to be happening a couple times. If she comes back and this happens, no. Anyways, and Phyra goes to fight Cinder on her own. Phyra is weakened and unable to fight, and before she dies, she asks Cinder, "Do you believe in destiny?" Cinder, of course, just says yes. After Phyra is shot with the final blow, she glows the same yellow as before with the aura transfer, and her body just disintegrates. Now, this was something that a lot of people didn't really think of, was the Grimm themselves disintegrate. When you kill a Grimm, they don't stay there. They completely vanish. They break apart because they have no soul, no aura. So what if Phyra's body was basically a husk? Because the glow itself was representing the aura. So what if the aura had left the body before it died? Just a little guess. Because if she broke apart like the Grimm, it would mean that her body didn't have her aura. It didn't have a soul. Because that's why the Grimm break. That's why they disintegrate. Anyways. Next, no. Sorry everyone, I'm really nervous about this. RWBY sees Phyra die, and maybe Phyra sees her before dying as well. What if Phyra saw RWBY? You never know. Or what if she heard her in the back? It was around the right time. It's just hard to tell if she saw RWBY at that time. Anyways, after a whole new beginning of a journey, it ends up where Team Ranger, or Junior, I think they said. Anyways, Jean, Nora, Ren, and RWBY. They set out on a mission, and they have to set up camp every night. Now, Phyra's voice starts to occur in RWBY's dreams, not once but twice, and it's weird because there's no reason why they wouldn't put that in. Like, that has to be relevant. It's not just the regret or the pain that RWBY's suffering from. It's something more. It's not just a dream. I feel like it's very important, because RWBY tends to put those tiny details in there for a reason. Anyways. And earlier, Oscar is introduced. Later on, Oscar ends up looking in a mirror and saying hello. I don't know why he would say that, but someone responds. Good old Ozpin. According to the story, Ozpin's aura entered into Oscar after being defeated by Cinder. Now they basically share a body. But they don't just share a body. They share it equally. Or at least somewhat equally. Ozpin can take the body and control it. but not forever. He still has his limits. It just shows that they have about the same power. If Oscar is in control a lot of the time because Ozpin can't take over forever, it just shows that Ozpin can't completely take over the body, and Oscar can't control Ozpin from taking over the body. So you'd think that their power would be pretty much equal. At least their mental power, I guess. But what if a tiny bit of Phyras power was transferred to RWBY? Since she didn't have the full power of the maiden to begin with, and the process was obviously started when the aura was being transferred, what if Pierrot did gain a bit of the Fall Maiden's power? Just enough to send a bit of herself into RWBY. And yeah, it might not make sense because you'd think that she'd show up like Ozpin, but what if she has? The dreams themselves show that maybe she's not able to fully come to an actual image. If RWBY is just normal RWBY, and Pyrrha's a weak little tiny bit of aura, you'd think that she would be able to appear only when RWBY's weak enough. Like when she's sleeping, perhaps? It's a possibility. When you're sleeping, you're not exactly in control of your own body. Anyways. So, that's that. And this is the overview. So these are the details that I want to specify. Pierrot did gain a small amount of the power. It was shown because the aura was being transferred over. Even though the process failed, some of it was obviously transferred. Hence her screaming in pain and glowing orange. Pierrot dies, but a small bit of power was transferred to RWBY. Now this is the interesting details. The only ally on the team the only other student that actually supported Jean as much as Phyra was RWBY. Now, if the power can be transferred to the person who the maiden thinks of last, or the last female that that in this case the Fallen Maiden thought of, you'd think that Phyra, if she was going to try and transfer her power, if she knew that there was any chance, you'd think she'd want to send it to someone who supports Jean, since the whole thing was for him. Yeah, it was all for Jean at this point. But it makes sense. You would choose RWBY because she's the closest to Jean. It's only natural to choose someone who is able to believe in him. Even Ren and Nora had trouble showing that they believed in him. But RWBY, being the child at heart, kind of doesn't really have a choice to not show it. Anyways. And also, oh, sorry, I couldn't read my own writing. The other detail is that RWBY was the only one there when Pierrot died. Other than Cinder, of course. So you'd think that her at least getting to the top of the tower right before Pierrot died would at least distract Phyra for a second and get her attention. So if she died while she was thinking of RWBY, it would make sense. Especially if the power can be transferred to the attacker, because the last person they think of is the attacker. So what if the last person they thought of was the person who suddenly appeared? Anyways. Pyrrha's body Pyrrha's body crumbles. And it's not just a normal death. She actually disintegrates like the Grimm. And that's a huge detail that I don't think a lot of people understand, is that if her body doesn't have a soul, or aura, then it would do the same thing as the Grimm, wouldn't it? Because they're just husks without aura. It would make sense. And I have two last bullets that are pretty interesting. The power in RWBY only appears when she's asleep, because that's when she's at her weakest state, which means that Phyra has a better chance of communicating with RWBY when RWBY's consciousness is not fully in control. Phyra isn't at her full power since she's only a fraction of the Maiden's power, which means if she did transfer it over to RWBY, it wouldn't be the full Maiden's power, obviously. But you'd think that if she got a little bit from that process, she'd be able to transfer it. And the last quote, or the last bullet, my bad, is, do you believe in destiny? Not only does Phyra say that multiple times in the show, but she says it before Cinder kills her. What if Phyra, even just by a tiny chance, believed that she could send her power? Because what if she thought she had gained a bit of that power, just a tiny bit? What if that were the case? If she believed that, she would definitely take the chance and think of someone who could use that power, the little bit she has, to help everyone else. And RWBY, being the one person who is obviously destined for great things, is the number one choice. And I actually just thought of something. If Phyra doesn't... I should have written this down earlier. Oh well. Basically, if Phyra herself keeps asking, do you believe in destiny? Do you think that she would... I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm sorry, everyone. I'll think of it later and I'll add it to this, I guess. Hold on. Okay, I remembered. So in the fight with Cinder, before she was, well, beaten, there was a point where, I'm pretty sure, now please forgive me if I'm wrong, where her weapon starts to bend. Now this might be the fight with Penny, I'm not exactly sure. But Pyrrhus starts to show signs of something she hasn't shown before. Her power of polarity has been evident throughout the show. But some of it feels different during that fight with Cinder. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but her fighting style was a bit different and her attacks were a bit different. But I believe at one point, this might be the fight with Penny. I'm sorry if it is. I haven't seen season 3 in a while, or volume 3 in a while. Actually, it's only been like 3 weeks. But anyways, where her weapon starts to bend, or she like checks her weapon. And it might happen in both fights. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm wondering if that has to do with the Maiden's power. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I feel like it's something that she hasn't done before. To have her weapon, like, change, or to look at her weapon and adjust it during battle using her polarity, it's a bit different. And like I said, please forgive me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, disregard that. But I don't really have time to go check before I upload this because it has to be uploaded tonight, and I'm already running late. So please forgive me for that. Anyways, I know this was kind of hard for you to listen to because it was kind of awkward. I'm not really good with reading bullet points. So next time I'll just have to write down the actual thing. I don't know. But like the actual like theory itself does make a lot of sense. And even though I didn't portray the details very well, if you look back at them, they do show signs of something. But anyways, this might be the worst video for this week, but I don't care. I still wanted to show one of my fan theories, and I have a lot more, by the way. Probably like 7, 8, 9. I had 10 at one point, and then the Ozpin one got revealed. Sad face. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Yes, I hope you guys liked it. I know you probably didn't like the weird, awkward conversation part of it. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video. I hope to see all you guys in the next video. Just kidding, you guys will see me. These videos are one-sided. Bye.